Look at that train. Choo choo. That's pretty cool.
After fire, the smoke lingers after fire.
All right, ladies, gentlemen, and kiddies, thanks to Royal Enfield, USA, and I'm here at the Texas Motor Speedway for the Go Moto thing here in Texas. And today, I will be taste testing the Royal Enfield Meteor 350 Fireball model. And let's get it on. So this is the latest model from Royal Enfield. And this motorcycle is one of the first cruisers, basically. Low displacement cruisers out there. So let's start it up. Very nice. It has a gear indicator. Perfect. And whoa, the engine sounds nice. Nice. And before we go, ergonomics check. I'm 6'3", 200 to 220 pounds, with a 35-inch overall inseam and a size 13 foot. Well, of course, it's a cruiser, so my legs are far forward, full flat-footed, everything shebang over there. So first impressions, it's such refreshing feeling to ride a low displacement 350cc cruiser. Oh, he has the heel toe shifter. Alrighty, so far so good. Like what most Royal Enfields are, they rev slow. So this is the Fireball model, the base model for the Enfield 350 here in the United States. And it seems like its first impression, it rides nice actually. Low speeds, between 40 to 60 kilometers or 25 to 30 miles an hour. Oh, that gauge cluster is nice. And I just want to check out what's all the rave on this bike. The side mirrors has a very good coverage area with an adequate articulation per se. And the good thing is it's one of the most affordable motorcycles that you can heel shift. This is a very good low speed alternative to Harleys, to those traditional cruisers, unless Suzuki comes up with their 250cc, the Intruder in the Philippines or here. But the Intruder's too small for American roads, so there you go. So far so good. I mean, of course this is an affordable cruiser. You have to set your expectations a little bit lower for this bike, for a bike like this. Actually, it's very refined. I like it. It has that cruiser foot forward feel, forward control feeling. The vibrations doesn't emanate on my hands too much, but it emanates on the side mirrors. So you can upgrade your side mirrors on this one. There's minimal vibrations on my handlebar, almost nothing on my butt, and nothing on my foot. But since this one has no tachometer, I cannot tell which one is which. Oh, this bike has an eco mode. That's funny. This bike has an eco mode. So, to clarify, this is the base model Meteor 350. There's another one called the Stellar, that's the mid-grade, and the Supernova that has all the toys that you want on a Meteor 350. It has a windshield. It looks like a, what is this Italian motorcycle company? That looks like a California. Moto Guzzi, there you go. Moto Guzzi, California. On higher revs, the buzz is more significant on my foot, but still minimal on my handlebars, and it's creeping up on my butt now. It's mostly on the pillion seat, not on my seat, but since my butt is touching to the pillion seat, I can feel the vibrations on that, but not on my core seat right now. The gear selector is very mechanical. You can feel the gears when you click it. The gear selector it's towards the lighter side, very light. It's just a shame that this is not freeway legal in the Philippines. I hit the red line on that one. I can't tell because it doesn't have a tachometer. I have to seat a little forward on this one because the pillion seat is bothering my butt now. So I'm on top gear at 5th. Vibration wise at 55 miles an hour or 90 kilometers. It's very tolerable bike. You can ride this on freeways or expressways or toll roads. Problem is in the Philippines, this is illegal. It's highly capable for highway riding. Excellent job for Royal Enfield on that one. The clutch bite is right between 85 to 90% before full release. It has a very linear torque band too, so it has some pull for you to pass cars on highways like this. I'm surprised this is smooth, not buzzy at all too much, except the pillion seat. Yeah, it's it's very fun. That heel toe shifter is just a novelty for cruiser and some adventure bikes too. But this is a cruiser, so actually this is the perfect introduction for cruisers if you wanna learn the cruiser lifestyle. Although it doesn't have a V-twin, but the riding style, the ergonomics of it teaches you a lot, especially if you want to transition from a sport bike or an adventure bike or naked bike to a cruiser bike. I think that's a good introduction to you, especially with the price that the American market version. It's a solid performer in my opinion. Of course, it's an entry-level motorcycle. I don't know if there's some Filipino journalists already reviewed this bike, but here I am. But I don't represent Philippines though. I represent the world. I'm giving you guys a side-by-side country opinion as a Filipino or as an American too. I'm just giving you guys both opinions for that matter. It's very maneuverable too. Of course, it's a light bike. Duh. You just have to wind the engine a little bit higher for you to rev shift this bike properly, because this bike revs low, so the slower side. It's flicky. It's very flicky. Very nice. The rear brakes is a little spongy, but once you get the grab bite already, it's easy to modulate. Let's see on the bumps. Of course, it's a light bike. Of course, it's gonna be firm on surfaces like that, but it's adequate. It's adequate is what it is. You can go to provinces, no problem with this bike. It's comfortable. You want to get into the cruiser lifestyle. This is one of the motorcycles that you can get. Too bad the Suzuki Intruder is not being marketed in the Philippines right now. If that gets released in the Philippines, it will undercut this bike. But so far, Royal Enfield beat them to it now. Yeah, a top gear. It has that pull as expected on a 350cc. I think it's a single cylinder, whatever. This engine is not the same engine as the Himalayan. This one is like 300 something, while the Himalaya is 411cc. Some people will ask me for that, so yeah. That's what I love about riding in the US. Everyone has a mutual love and respect for fellow riders or bikers or drivers. I'm here in Texas. So far my experience here is really nice. Really good too. It's capable of the corners too. Oh, this is nice corners right here. The engine sounds nice, but you don't hear the exhaust though. You're hearing it right under this tech. I'm wearing earplugs right now, and I don't hear the engine from the exhaust. I'm hearing it from the engine itself, which is pretty odd in somewhat of a good way. This is a nice road actually. We don't have this in Vegas. And it's easy to put it to first gear for some reason. Very easy to make a U-turn. To do a U-turn this bike. You can do an MSF course on this. I think this is a good MSF motorcycle. It's easy to slice it. Once you get used to it, you can easily slice this on some cones on MSF. Yes, that sticky turn signal. Eh, maybe it's new, that's why. You gotta use with the flow of this bike though, because this engine revs so slow. It's just that heel toe shifter does wonders, especially on people that has some problems that they're unable to upshift up their bikes. That heel helps that, the heel part of the shifter. And this one has it standard, which is excellent. So like most cruisers, it doesn't deal with rough patches like that pretty well, because of course you don't have that much suspension travel between you and the tires. Too bad you can't bring this on toll roads in the Philippines because of that stupid and idiotic minimal 400cc requirement. That's why I keep on advocating 225cc minimum. That idiotic 400cc minimum needs to be amended. They should lower it to 225 so people can enjoy bikes like these. The TU250X, this, WR250R, the KLX 300. There you go. I'm sick and tired of that stupid 400cc thing. It's idiotic. See, riding bikes like these makes me angry towards the toll regulatory board in the Philippines. I mean, for people who wants to buy this bike, they will be able to get to, because you have to have a 400cc and up. That's why there's a rift between smaller bikes and bigger bikes in the Philippines. So this little button right here is for your instrument right here. I'm not gonna dig deeper. This shows your clock. I don't know if you see it, but oh well. That little thingy right there next to the gauge pod is called the Tripper Navigation app, exclusively on the Meteor line. At first I didn't know what it is. It's just showing the clock and then it disappears, but it's essentially a turn-by-turn navigation that goes along with your app on your phone, with the Royal Enfield app, on which works in conjunction with Google Maps and Google Places, and basically it helps you direct turn-by-turn navigation as you go without even looking at your phone or even try to look at your phone. It's just gonna remind you right at the gauge pot itself on which or where to turn on any points of interest that is powered by Google. It only does turn-by-turn navigation, but other than that, nothing. It doesn't do your MP3 playlist or whatever. It just does the turn-by-turn as you go to the location that you want to go. I think that's a pretty nifty idea. Instead of using complicated TFT gauges or screens for that matter, I think that's a very handy way for you to navigate around. But so far, unfortunately, at the time of this recording, it's only available on the Meteor 350 only. I haven't even scraped the pegs on this thing yet. I was really leading this bike already. I didn't scrape any pegs. So this is a good cone dodging bike if you wanted to. I'm impressed of what Royal Enfield did to this bike. It's far more refined than the classic 500 that I taste tested back in the Philippines, and somewhat equal to the Enfield 600s. Of course, in my opinion, nobody can touch that Himalayan. The Himalayan is just plain awesomeness. I mean, what more can you possibly want if you want a cruiser? Too bad you cannot explore its full potential if you're not allowed to be in the freeways in the Philippines. What I'm talking about is in the Philippines. Here in the US, go right ahead if you want to get into a cruiser lifestyle without breaking the bank. This might be a good option for you. In fact, I feel comfortable. I'm not much of a fan of a feet forward forward control, well, that's just me. I like a standard neutral medium control position. That's just me, but for you guys who like forward control, if you want to go like this, right? Yeah. Now the engine starts to struggle a little bit on this uphill. See, I'm already all out, and I'm still struggling to keep up with them. And of course, I'd rather taste test base level motorcycles like this, so at least you can get an idea on the Stellar model, which is that it has more seat options, it has more toys in it. This one has almost bare bones. Of course, this is a base bike in general. There's a little wind going on, the little crosswinds. It's okay. That's part of the cruiser life. Laid back, relax, enjoy the bike, riding at a top gear, fifth gear. Ride like there's nothing to care in the world. I can recommend this bike to the ladies also, because it's small, it's unintimidating, and affordable. There you go. This is a good beginner cruiser, in my opinion. If the Rebel 300 is a little too pricey for you, I think this is a good option. Yeah, you gotta gas it really hard before you rev match it. Stiff suspension. Well, that's what you expect in a cruiser. Yeah, this is a good ladies bike. If you're into cruisers, like her, it's a good starting point. Although I saw her with both of her feet down, she's a little tippy toes. But she's not that tall either, so there you go. For my height, I'm roomy. I feel like I'm riding a Vulcan S 650. It's pretty roomy, but that's what I said. I'm not into cruisers too much, because every time I ride as cruisers, my left knee starts bothering me after a couple of miles, a few miles away. Very nice, very good Royal Enfield. Criticisms, I hear some reliability on Royal Enfield's part, but that's only select models maybe, I don't know. The suspension is a little bit too stiff, but what can you expect, it's a cruiser. What else? I don't think this button works that well, in my opinion. I don't know if it switches your miles and everything. But I'll check out the higher models, see if there's a model with a tack in it. This yellow paint job is pretty decent actually. Yep, you have to rev it up for you to do the right rev shift, rev match. And you don't need to shift this hard. You just give it a little pause, then you shift right away. So you go like that. No. You have to give it time for you to shift this bike. Low speed ability. Of course, this is a light bike. It's gonna be easy. Full stop mode. Very nice. Yeah, another downside, if you're not used to this bike, you might think that the revs climbs up very slow. I don't see that as a bad thing. You just have to get used with the bike. There you go, simple as that. Very flicky bike. And we're back at the Royal Enfield booth over here. So we'll do some low speed maneuverability. Very, very good. It handles its weight really well. And there you go. We're back. So before we start, stop. Let's stop it. Here you go. Off. Off. So the side stand is easy to locate, but snappy. Here you go. So as you can see her, she's not that tall. She was tiptoeing on this bike. But for me, it's a small bike. So there you go. So let's compare to this base model, the Fireball model, and the Stellar model right here. The Stellar model has a little bit more toys into it, like it has chrome mirrors, a seat back for your pillion passenger, still no tack, and better paint. Yeah, you can get any of the paints here, and of course, yeah, the Stellar has a chrome exhaust, while this one is all black. See, black exhaust. I mean, I'm very impressed what Royal Enfield did to this bike. I mean, for a for a budget cruiser, I'm very impressed with it. Oh, oh, this one has a pinstripe on the wheels. Let me see the Stellar. Does it have that? Huh. Pretty cool. I'll give it this 2 thumbs up because for the beginner introduction for cruisers, I highly recommend it. And this is also available in the Philippines too. So that's pretty good too. So I'll see you guys later. Search me on Google, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out.